I'm going to make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all going to cry when they get home. And I meant that. I meant that.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. As simple as that.
For you, I think I said this before people killed me. I said that this reminds me, and it could be like Pacquiao when he fought De La Hoya. So at the end of the day, looking forward off of the last fight with Canelo, I like Crawford every bit as much as I did before.
The anticipated clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is already being touted as the sport's biggest event of the year, and Teddy Atlas has offered his blunt breakdown. Atlas is convinced Crawford has every weapon to get the job done, stressing that his talent is built to thrive beyond weight divisions. He highlights Crawford's sharp technique, unshakable focus, and remarkable adaptability. On the other hand, Atlas insists Canelo is no longer the fierce powerhouse of old, arguing the Mexican star has lost that hunger and fiery edge that once carried him, pointing out
however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. As simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I did.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
A lot of fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
Two Mean Machine, a man who has felt Terence Crawford's craft firsthand, dismisses the notion that size alone would decide a battle with Canelo Alvarez. He insists Crawford's all-around mastery outshines any physical deficit, saying his ring IQ makes him an unsolvable code for Canelo. In his eyes, natural weight and frame cannot balance the wide gap in timing, adaptability, and pure fight smarts that Crawford delivers each outing. Mean Machine calls Crawford one of the most methodical and analytical fighters of this generation, fully capable of tweaking strategies mid-fight to pick apart rivals regardless of size.
I'm going to make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. And I meant that. I meant that. Everybody's talking about the size and me being a smaller fighter, but if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes my whole career. Like how I'm gonna take a punch. They punch me every time we spar. So, it's okay. Once we get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, it's gonna be another excuse. Why, the reason why Terence won and this and that and that is, but I can assure you, I'm gonna be victorious. And after that, we're gonna have another parade.
Three Mean Machine sees a telling reminder when comparing a possible Crawford vs. Canelo matchup to Canelo's 2013 defeat at the hands of Floyd Mayweather. Back then, a less developed Canelo was taken to school by Floyd's blinding quickness, defensive brilliance, and flawless ring control. He suggests Crawford could mirror that blueprint, leaning on movement, sharp counters, and precision to smother Canelo's offense and wear him down with frustration. Still, he admits one key difference. Canelo today brings a level of veteran experience that he lacked a decade ago.
Went to Turkey, Al Sheikh, and letting him know that I was interested in fighting Canelo. And him and a lot of people, at first, they was like, nah, he's too big. You need to, focus on your weight class and things like that. But at the time, I'm like, well, there's no one at my weight class that's on that level of Canelo. Canelo come from a smaller weight class. He's not a massive fighter, 6 foot tall. He's thick, but he's not giant. Picking Canelo was a thing that we looked deeply into.
For Regis, Prograis offers a sharply different perspective. The former world champion dismisses the idea that Crawford's punches will rattle a naturally bigger, iron-jawed warrior like Canelo Alvarez. Prograis reminds that Alvarez has absorbed shots from some of boxing's heaviest hitters, men all larger than Crawford, and hardly ever budged. Still, Prograis doesn't fully erase Crawford's shot at glory. While he doubts the Nebraskan's power will leave a mark, he does admit Crawford has the brains, tactical brilliance, and sheer willpower to grind out a victory in interest.
You know, when you look at Spence, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Postal, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Majmal, that was one of my big challenges because I was moving up in weight and, you know, given the circumstances that, you know, his background, amateur background, and things like that, Gamboa was my biggest. They all big challenges in their own right.
Have you put on a lot of weight or muscle? Like, how is it in that front? Because I know a lot of people have said, like, hey, you're fighting a big guy, 168, and he's used to fighting guys that are bigger than him. It might be smart to put on a little bit more, like, mass.
Comes natural with working out.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before, the only thing about this camp different than any other camp is I don't got to cut muscle. I don't got to, you know, watch what I do in strength condition. I can, you know, go fully all out, you know, and just do what I need to do to get stronger.
To you, how much is the skull fight performance kind of like a thing you're keeping an eye on?
Well, you know, that's not a fight that I really, you know, look into because, you know, Canelo is a great fighter, and one bad performance don't define a fighter. You know, given the circumstances of his previous fights, and you know, we looking forward to Canelo being the best Canelo that he can be. Skull might not have made him get to that point where he felt any danger or any significance where he had to go to that deeper level in training or take the fight as serious as he's taking this fight. So, you know, I don't know what was up with that fight.
Yeah, some said that, and let me know just your perspective on this. Some have said that you have to fight like Skull in order to win the fight. Do you feel that you have to fight that way to beat Canelo, or you're like, nah, like I could beat him in the mid-distance?
I'm just fighting my fight. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they have their opinions. They have, you know, they what's going to happen.
Jose Vargas Jr., who was shared theiring and sparring with Terence Crawford, echoes the same doubts about power. Vargas bluntly says he doesn't believe Crawford can truly hurt Canelo, having felt Crawford's punching strength up close. He acknowledges Crawford's accuracy and sharpness, but insists he doesn't pack the single-shot power to seriously trouble a tank-like champion of Canelo's build. Vargas reminds that Alvarez has walked through bombs from larger men before, raising doubts whether Crawford can hit hard enough to make him hesitate. Still, Vargas notes timing, accuracy, and relentless output could be enough to slowly wear him down.
Guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andrew Ruiz. You know that shield, that weird hand shield? Yeah. They hold on you for hooks. Yeah. And he's like, this is not for safety. This is just power. Just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this. Just power. You see that?
6 Meanwhile, Nikki Bay takes a more confrontational stance, accusing Canelo Alvarez of carefully selecting opponents by timing and size advantage. Bay argues Alvarez has a long track record of picking rivals when conditions favor him, often waiting until the moment is right. In this case, Bay believes Canelo sees Crawford as a smaller fighter moving up in weight, handing him a physical edge. Several insiders echo this belief, claiming Alvarez is using his natural strength and build to tilt the balance against an opponent who comes from a lighter frame.
I feel like Bud to beat him easy. How though? What are your thoughts on Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez? Terence going up another 2 weight classes. Just got to 54. He's skipping 60, going straight to 68, talking about what's going on.
I feel like once he beat Canelo, that will be like one of the greatest resumes in boxing ever, just because of the fact that he's going up 2 divisions just to fight this guy, and this guy's bigger than him. And not only did you just crush Errol Spence, but you go out there and the way that he beats Canelo too. If he go out there and just dominate and make it an easy fight, honestly, I think that's going to be like one of the best resumes I ever see. But as far as the fight, I feel like Bud could beat him easy.
How though? Don't give me everything, just how is it?
For me, it's a blueprint already. Floyd was a lot smaller than Canelo when he fought him. You keep Canelo on the outside. I ain't going to even say too much, but you keep him on the outside and make it easy.
Though moving up to fight a bigger man is a real challenge, Crawford's preparation shows that he hasn't just added size for appearances. Olympic bronze medalist Omari Jones notes that Crawford's added weight is functional, built through focused strength training rather than reckless bulking. Combined with his discipline and technical mastery, this positions him not just to compete, but to excel at super middleweight.